Ladies and gentlemen, the house is now open. The house is now open. Thank you.
Webster's definition: gay, happily excited, having or inducing high spirits, given to social pleasures.
Out and about, Silver Lake, DTLA. With Charlie Harding.
Hey gang, Charlie Harding here again, and I'm headed into Los Angeles, California. It's gonna be an interesting episode because I'm going to two of the areas that are super cool, full of LGBTQ history, Silver Lake and downtown LA, known as DTLA. So I'm gonna meet with Donnie over here at Rough Trade Gear. It's a leather fetish store, and you know how I like that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. He is a go-go dancer and he knows all the fun stuff that's going on in LA. I'm gonna check it out, see who I should meet. He's gonna tell me where to go and all the cool stuff that's going on this weekend. Hey, good to see you. I'm super excited to be here. It's been a long time since I've been around, so everything has changed, like always.
For sure.
So I know there's some of the old school is still here, but there's a lot of new stuff going on. Wanted to meet with an expert, and you are my expert.
I'm around town, that's for sure.
Right?
Yeah, these neighborhoods are pretty great for both. If you want the old school and you want the new school, you have a lot of really nice energies that come together here.
Cool.
For like a classic sort of Cheers vibe, you have the Eagle. And the Eagle's become my Cheers. I've lived in a lot of cities.
I love it.
And the Eagle has the most friendly staff, hottest dudes. You get the muscles, you get the muscle bears, you get the corporate creatives, so you really get a good, happy, easygoing mix.
Good.
Akbar is right down the way, and it sort of has an eclectic vibe.
Okay.
The music's always great. You have two rooms, so there's a dance room, which does have a cover, but it's like low key, it's not
Right.
insane, and it's totally worth it.
Okay.
And then you have the more casual, like, let's meet for drinks after work.
Okay.
And you just get to meet the real locals.
Oh, cool.
And it's the Eagle's more fetish. Akbar is more neighborhoody.
Oh, cool. See, I love getting to go meet the local people, not just the people who are in town wanting to party because they're tourists,
Right.
you know? So I like that local flavor. So Akbar sounds really cool.
And Silver Lake definitely has more locality. It's like the people who come from out of town have the tips, like I'm giving you.
Right?
Fault Line has been around for a while. It has like a whole new management, so the vibe is like a little different, but it's classic. It's outdoors. Their Sunday beer bust is kind of the best.
Okay.
And I know they collaborate with Tom of Finland too, so they have special events that come and go that are really worth checking
Oh,
out.
that's awesome. All right. Well, I know I've got some stuff to do in Silver Lake. Plus, the main drag here where Rough Trade is, there's all sorts of really cool stuff to take a peek at.
Super cute.
All right, so I have to find somewhere to eat lunch because, with all this running around, I'm going to be starving.
Well, there's a really cool Mexican place, like the Dawn of Time.
Cool.
And it's a classic Mexican
Oh,
restaurant.
I love Mexican food.
It's rock and roll. It's pristine, it's old school. And downstairs, there's a cabaret that has incredible shows.
Oh, cool.
So there's like an artist, Love Connie, who has been on.
I've seen her on a
she's been
couple
around.
drag shows on TV,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Totally an energy I've never seen before.
That's
it's like
fun.
one woman show, just giving it to you. But there's a lot of cool other gay performances that happen on there.
Sounds like the perfect place for lunch. Now, what's it called?
Casita del Campo.
Casita del Campo. We'll check that
Well,
out.
there's-
And then,
right next door, there's a historical spot, which is the Black Cat, which was actually a pre-Stonewall gay queer riot.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
like if your queer history.
Right.
So we are in a really cool historical queer vibe. And Tom of
that's
Finland
awesome.
is up there too.
right,
so it's
Tom
like-
of Finland House. And
Yeah.
I'm going to stop by there. That's a major to-do on my list. So that's cool. So, all right, now downtown LA, DTLA, is kind of a newer...
For sure. It's a definitely new vibe. You have like these really beautiful old buildings that have kind of been untouched, and now people are starting to come in.
That's what the gays do.
That's what the gays
we
do.
always find that cool neighborhood and here we go, we make it pretty.
For everyone
and make it
else
really
to
expensive.
come on in.
Exactly.
And they're coming in, that's for sure. But the vibe is good. It's a little younger, but you also get people who are getting a little new money, who are like in their 30s or 40s,
Right.
getting their houses. So there's cool stuff down there. There's Precinct. Precinct I really like. There's a lot of cool bear nights. The space it's a second floor and it's all open.
Oh, nice.
And then there's a big old dance floor. The staff is really nice. And there's a lot of weekly parties there too. So almost every night there's something to do there.
Oh, great. Yeah, I love a good happy staff and a nice big open space where you can just kind of explore and wander around and just kind of see what, where you want to end, which corner you want to end up
Of course,
in.
and there's a lot of corners to end up in.
I gotcha.
So.
Cool.
There's Redline. Redline is pretty new. I think that's the newest of the gay establishments down there. It's still getting its voice, which is a nice opportunity if you're from out of town.
Oh, very
so
fun.
You can
Okay.
put your stamp in there. This weekend there's actually DTLA Pride. So this is kind of the coolest mix. It's in Pershing Square, so it's all outdoors. I think it ends at 8, so it starts at like 1 or 2 or something, and you have like a full day. There's local vendors, so you get a lot of queer artists who are selling their goods, so you can really support the community from a
Very
grassroots
cool.
space.
Definitely going to have to go there. DTLA proud. Got to do it. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the kids get their looks on.
Okay.
They're
Oh,
sexy,
cool.
there's dancing. It's
Sounds eclectic and fun. That's just like what I like. And it sounds like it's going to be a lot of the local flavor, which again, that's what I don't like the touristy stuff so much as I do. I want to mingle and see what it's really about.
and you get everyone. That's probably the biggest eclectic mix of people.
All right.
Da-da-da-da-da-da! I'm in Silver Lake. Welcome to Silver Lake Sunset Junction. I am right at the epicenter where Sunset and Santa Monica meet. Back in January of 2016, Forbes magazine actually named Silver Lake as one of the hippest places in LA to live. Now it's gentrified a lot, and it's turning into this really cool energy that still has a ton of LGBTQ history and influence. So back in the 1970s, around the time I was born, the gay rights movement, it was in full swing, and there were gays and lesbians moving into Silver Lake right and left, starting bars, businesses, stores, restaurants, the whole thing. So Silver Lake was actually nicknamed the Swiss Alps.
Right next to Rough Trade is a very important piece of LGBT history. In 1967, on New Year's Eve, 7 undercover police officers were waiting for the strike of midnight. In 1967, it was illegal for 2 people of the same gender to kiss. So right at midnight, when they began to kiss and ring in the new year, the police officers began to rip down decorations and savagely attack the patrons. On February 11th, 300 to 400 LGBT people and their allies protested right here in front of the Black Cat to stop police harassment. It's the first ever known large protest of its kind. Now to check out what's up in the neighborhood. Now this coffee house is always crazy busy, and the coffee is expensive, but it is so worth it. All the food around here definitely has health food in mind. Now, it may not all be vegetarian or vegan, but it's always of the best quality. And don't worry, there are plenty of vegan and vegetarian places for you to enjoy. In Silver Lake, there are very few places to stay. But almost right next to the Eagle, there's a wonderful new motel called the Silver Lake Pool and Inn. It's very cute, very rustic, and very hip. And you could fall into or out of bed while enjoying a few drinks at the Eagle next door. Jesus. Cardio is cardi-no for me. Anyway, I am here at the Mattachine Steps. Harry Hay founded the Mattachine Society back in the 1950s, and they named the steps after it. By the way, Silver Lake was also home of the Walt Disney Studios from 1925 to 1940. Now let's check out Akbar right down the street. Now Akbar is that cool, hip, alternative gay bar that you can bring anybody to. And they have plenty of fun nights to explore. Now, I love how in LA it's just normal to have a wall of signed pictures of stars who've been there. Alex Trebek came here? Drew Barrymore. Well, I'm not surprised about her. One of the best events they have starting in the spring is Bears in Space. This gets all the fun bears and eccentrics out here in Silver Lake. Oh, and look, Isn't that the amazing singer J.J. Long? And isn't that Daniel Franzese from Mean Girls standing behind him? Next stop, Fault Line. Fault Line is a Sunday beer bust institution. It's been that way for what seems like forever. Now, a fun trivia point is that this location in the 1950s was a restaurant owned by none other than Judy Garland and Sid Luft. Now, I'm starving. I need Mexican food and a margarita. What should I order?
Number 1, the Casita special.
Okay.
6 mini tostadas.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Sour cream, pico de gallo. And also number 2, the pollo mexicano.
Thank you. Thanks so much. The soup was amazing, and now I can't wait. Wow, that is beautiful. Guac too. Try the guac. That's how you can always tell a good Mexican restaurant is their guacamole, and that's amazing. Thank you. Oh wow, that is beautiful. Another way you can usually test a really good Mexican restaurant is the beans. So let's see. Oh, those are great. They've got a great flavor and a little bit of cheese on top. Oh, I could eat those for days. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, that's really good. It's sweet but earthy. Nice little spice to it. All right. Just gonna dive right into the chicken. Oh, the wholesome chicken flavor with that sauce is to die for. Come eat here and try this. I can't do it justice on camera. We have asked Robert DeCampo, the owner, and Mr. Dan, the artistic director of the Cavern Club, to give us a little history of the restaurant and the cabaret.
Started off in 1962, and my dad was a dancer, professional dancer, and the last film that he danced in was West Side Story. Career changed, so he was part of that showbiz, dancers, actors, theater, Broadway.
I love that they're around the restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun to share the history of your dad and your mom and, you know, how long this restaurant's been here when I catch people looking at the pictures and so on.
It's just so amazing, you know, going back into 1962, you know, that was a time when two men to go have dinner together wasn't tolerated or looked upon, or it was a very odd thing. It didn't, and this is the time when police could come into bars and pull people out and beat them just for being gay.
Yeah.
So Casita del Campo was part of that whole scene where two men could come here and be completely comfortable and taken care of with the best service. So the gay clientele, the gay scene has been here since day one. Drexler 66, what a blast.
That is a whole documentary unto
What
itself.
a blast that was. I mean, this ties into everything that continues here at Casita.
That June of 1993, that infamous drag strip where the cops showed up to shut us down.
With the fire department.
The fire department, helicopter flyover.
With everybody posing on the fire trucks with their heels and waving flag.
Somebody had called the police and said that we had seriously overcrowded, you know, Rodolfo's. And we hadn't. When all was said and done, they had made us all exit the club. They were gonna have us walk out onto the street where they had paddy wagons and cops waiting for us. I jumped up on my newly acquired retired postal Jeep on the hood, and I said, don't go anywhere. We have every right to be here on private property, because your father was there, and he said, no, you guys can stay. This is private property. They can't throw you out unless I throw you out. Stay in the parking lot. Right? And that's when the helicopter flew overhead, the spotlight comes down, and all these drag queens flood to the spotlight. They're like, girl!
I found my life!
Yay! What can we do? And I said, we need to contact our council. City council members. So your mom called Jackie Goldberg, who arranged a meeting with the police precinct, which was the Northeast Police Precinct. And Paul and I and your mom went down to a meeting with Jackie Goldberg and the public liaison for the police department. And we told them we felt we were treated this way because we were gay, and obviously gay because we were drag queens, and there was no reason for any of this. And that we could sense that a number of the officers that showed up were also gay, working the late shift because gay people don't have families. And we explained to them, it was like, we're in this community here, we all know each other. You guys have to be a little more sensitive to what's going on in the community. You didn't ask. Nobody asked us what we were doing. They just came in there looking to bust heads, and they were trying to instigate that. Your mother had shown up. This meant we were serious. And it was after that important moment in our lives, all of our lives, that we started to see things change in the neighborhood. And so instead of the cops showing up to break heads, they would come and patrol and hang out on the corner to protect people walking to the club, to protect the gays from getting fag bashed.
So it totally reversed.
It totally reversed.
It was a full
And do
change.
you know what else they did? Within 6 months, they had community sensitivity training seminars instituted across the entire police force, so that people being policed by members who lived outside of the community, because they were very sensitive to everything after the Rodney King incident. So they were willing to listen. So that brings us back, once again to why Rodolfo's and Casita del Campo were so important in this community.
So important.
Your father and your mother, Rudy and Nina, gave us a home now. Make a note of the fire extinguisher on the post at the bottom of the stairs. I point this out because that post holds up the entire restaurant. Don't just yank any old tables. Also make note of the 4 emergency exits located here, and here. So he told us that, he had a basement, which, as it turns out, was just a cellar that needed to be revamped and remodeled for us. Well, in the summer of June of '94, 25 years ago, he was like, the space is ready. We moved in down there, and we started doing the plush life there as an episodic soap opera with a brand new episode every time we did it, which was on all the Saturdays except for the Saturday we did Drag Strip. That's when Oscar Quintero, aka Quesadilla, approached me and said, I want to do a parody of Charlie's Angels with all Latina drag queens and call it Chico's Angels.
The killer is in this picture.
You're right, the killer's arm is in the picture.
Now we know the killer has an arm.
Okay, and at the same time, my friend James Gray, who does the Fruitcake Follies, came to me and said, I have this Christmas show and I need a place to do it, to do like 7 or 10 shows. And so those 2 shows started to anchor the space and changed what we did. We retired the plush life and started doing musical parodies and solo drag queen shows. And that is what has sustained the Cavern Club in the basement of a Mexican restaurant for all these years.
How many years?
25 years this year.
25 years.
25 years! So, here's to
beautiful.
57 years
I love it.
of Casita del Campo, 25 years of the Cavern Club, and a lifetime of the happiest memories.
Are you serious?
Serious.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Now it's off to Tom's house in nearby Echo Park. We are so lucky to be having a tour from Sharp, the vice president of the Tom of Finland Foundation.
We were very fortunate to understand that he had emphysema, so he had a finite amount of life. Dirk jumped into gear, high gear, fast-tracked his biography, which was written by the administrator that worked here, Valentine Hooven. So the biography came out. Documentary we were able to fast track that we made with a Finnish documentarian, and Tom got to see it on VHS tape from his bed. The Finnish Comic Society gave him their highest award, so he got an accolade from his peers. And he was shown at the Whitney in New York. So friends of ours at the Finnish Comic Society who had worked there many years ago, she suggested that we apply for a Finnish postage stamp. They accepted our application. So that was a big deal. So at least as a living artist, he got a taste of all of this. Of course, it was in his twilight years, but at least he got to see that he had been recognized. He understood that he was known globally within the queer community, but not so much in Finland. Part of that was because he pledged his family, especially his sister, not to use the family name because she was convinced it would destroy their family name. We were, in effect, giving Tom back to Finland. They now had a new national hero that they had, let's say, neglected for a few years. So a Finnish production company approached us about doing a biopic about Tom. Putting it together, it coincided with the 100th anniversary of Finland. It premiered in Finland and it went to Tribeca. And eventually it was sort of revolving itself all around the globe. He was a remarkable man that did remarkable things, but he was also a human. Dirk picked out this room to be Tom's studio, his space, and it was a little more Spartan, a little more Nordic looking when Tom was here, but being an archive, we need every available inch. So Tom of Finland was born Tolko Laaksonen, and when his country called, he wore the uniform of his country, defending his country against enemies. He won medals. These are the medals on his uniforms. But obviously he was drawn to boots. They're here in his room. He got a pair of boots when he was a small child. His mom gave him a pair of boots for a gift for Christmas, and he took them to bed. And she kept pulling them out, and he put them on the ground, and she'd come back in, and he was holding the boots. So he did, obviously, develop a fetish for uniforms and for boots. We presented artwork in our Emerging Erotic Artist Contest that have been quite controversial. There's been lots of feedback, but again, we just approach it with confidence that this is art. This has a place in our world. As all artists stand on the shoulders of artists that came before them, I think Tom's legacy is carried on, and I think that he had great conviction. He wasn't intimidated.
At the time when I became aware of my sexual direction, before World War II, all gay men I met felt ashamed and guilty, like belonging to a lower human category because they had no rights to enjoy their different sexuality. In my opinion, it was very unfair. But even though I had to hide my own desires, or maybe because of it, I started drawing fantasies of free and happy gay men. I woke up this morning reflecting while sitting here on the patio looking at the Hollywood Hills. This little village called Silver Lake is warm, inclusive, creative, and a wonderful place to come visit. Now, off to a house party right next door to where I'm staying, and then off to the off-Sunset Street Fair. The LA Eagle is the heart of Silver Lake, Bears and Leather and Levi's crowd. Oh my! It's so much more. one of my favorite events is Cub Scouts, so try to make it sometime to that one. First stop, Angel's Flight. Built in 1901 by Colonel J.W. Eddy, a lawyer, an engineer, and a friend of President Abraham Lincoln, Angel's Flight is said to be the world's shortest incorporated railway. It's estimated that Angel's Flight has carried more passengers per mile than any other railway in the world. Right across the street is newly renovated Grand Central Market. It's trendy, fun, and filled with every food you could imagine. The Biltmore Hotel was built in 1923, and it is pretty grand, I'd say. Now, in DTLA, there are many hotels. None that are exclusively gay, but again, this is a town that's inclusive. Clifton Cafeteria is the oldest surviving cafeteria-style eatery in Los Angeles. And it's the largest public cafeteria in the world. Cole's French dip sandwiches since 1908, and they are so yummy. Redline is a new, fun cabaret, restaurant, and bar. It's an old school gay bar with a downtown edge. Now we're going to run over to Precinct. It's the premier place to dance in DTLA, and there's lots of special nights and a great Sunday beer bust. Today is DTLA Proud. Pershing Square was the center of The Run, a circuit of gay-friendly establishments and cruising spots that served in the 1920s through the 1960s. We've come early to not be in the craziness of the crowds because it's going to be insane here today.
Out and about, Silver Lake, DTLA. With Charlie Harding.